Welcome to Free Yourself Friday. So today I'm gonna get a little bit deep because today we're going to talk about freeing yourself from toxic waste. Now I'm not talking about your actual intestine toxin waste. I'm talking about your emotional ailments, your toxicity towards other people, because sometimes the hardest pill to swallow is your own. It's so easy for us to point the finger at other people like, oh, something wrong with them, or oh, you're toxic, or you display this and you do that and it's your fault, da da da. It's always easy for us to point the fingers, but in a lot of cases, the things that we see in other people are the very things within ourselves. So for example, you have let's say a woman, because we women are emotional creatures. So we're like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know why I'm not in a relationship. Everybody I date, it just never seems to work out, and maybe something wrong with them, and because I know what I am. And when you take a couple steps back and you look in the mirror and you actually start pulling out everything within you, not saying that you're the reason why it didn't work out, but sometimes you have to look within yourself like, okay, what am I doing that's causing any relationship that I encounter, whether it be with a friend, a significant other? What am I doing? What am I displaying that is a turnoff for anybody? So you have people that are judgmental. You have those people that have been hurt so badly that the only thing they know how to do is criticize. And they think that it's okay, and they'll do it as a joke. And it's like oh girl, you this, ha ha ha. Oh boy, you did. Like, no. Sometimes it's to deflect our own insecurities. So next time, like, you find yourself in a situation where you pointing the finger and telling somebody about themselves, you have to look at yourself like, well, dang, I do the same thing, but I do it in a different manner. So maybe if I look at myself, maybe I could, talk to that other person and let them know, like, dang, I know exactly what you're doing because I do it. It's the difference when you're telling somebody what they're doing and don't admit what you do. So it's like yo, you got serious issues. You always doing this, that, and the third, and then you just route. But it's a difference. People can receive things differently if they feel like they're not being judged. So you talk to somebody and you like, all right, I realize that the past couple of times that we've done this, you did X, Y, and Z. And I'm not trying to come at you, but I recognize it because I used to do the same thing, or I recognize that I do the same exact thing. So what can we do to help each other to get past all of this toxicity? And then take it back to your childhood, or take it back to things that happened to you when you were younger. You have to understand that people that you encounter today are not the people that you encountered back in the day. Even though some things that they might do or some things that they might say might trigger what you went through when you were younger, but it's like it's not okay to spill your toxic waste on other people, because what that does is that creates a ripple effect. So you spend your whole life keeping all of this stuff in and never dealing with it, and every person that you encounter, you spill a little bit here and you spill a little bit there, and later on it's like they actually inhabit those same things that you were spilling onto them in little increments, and they don't even realize that what you had in you spilled over to them, especially if you're having sex with somebody, because baby, soul ties are real. Y'all can think that it's not real if you want. Y'all out here having sex with X, Y, Z, Bobby, Joe, Keisha, Wanda, Larisha. Y'all out here having sex with anybody unprotected, and y'all wonder why the same toxic behaviors of that person that you don't want to deal with, you are now displaying. That's because these things spill over. They are spirits. Whether you want to believe it or not, they are spirits. And it doesn't matter how much you don't talk about it, how much you don't want to deal with it. It's going to come to the light sooner or later. It is. So today you need to actually stare at yourself in the mirror and say, baby, I did it. I did it. I did it. I did it. And I had to stare myself in the mirror. And when I tell you, I started crying. Everything started coming out because the ugly truth comes out when you actually decide to face it. And I think that's the thing that we're most afraid of. I watched a YouTube video that my aunt put up yesterday, and she was saying too many times we're okay with being vulnerable with other people or displaying passion with other people. But when it comes to being vulnerable with ourselves, it's like like we're so quick to put up the X and not want to deal with our own selves, but we're able to say and do certain things around other people. Like, don't you just find that just crazy? It's toxic. It's toxic. Why are we afraid to be vulnerable with ourselves? So I challenge you to get in front of a mirror, sit within yourself, even if you have to write it down on a piece of paper, and list all of those things down that bother you, or the things that you tend to do to other people, and reflect on it, and reflect why it is that you do what you do. Like, okay, I'm very negative towards people. Why? I'm negative towards people because when I was younger, I had low self-esteem, and everybody was negative around me and to me. People called me names. People bullied me. I fought all the time. And it's like I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about, like, just as an example. It's like I fought all the time. So now I took all of that and I let it fester. I let it fester and I let it grow. When you keep fungus locked in long enough, it multiplies and it grows and it grows and it grows and it turns into something that's hard to control. So think of something that happened 10 plus years ago and you never addressed it up until now. Well, baby, that's a ticking time bomb, and that cap is about to blow right off. So what you need to do is look at yourself and say, what is it in me that's toxic that I know is spilling over? How would I want to be treated? The very thing that you're afraid to face is the very thing that's going to open up the door to give you your freedom. As soon as you become vulnerable with yourself and you start telling yourself these things that you know are wrong with you, oh my gosh, I'm angry all the time. Why am I angry all the time? And you actually start thinking back to all the reasons why you're angry all the time. Once you actually say it out your mouth and you admit it and you like, wow, that's why I've been angry all this time, you could actually start your healing process. It doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it takes months. Sometimes it takes years. But as soon as you admit, you'll actually begin to open up that old wound and actually clean out all of the toxins and the bad things that actually built up over the years. And you can you can stitch it up, not put a Band-Aid, because when you put Band-Aids on stuff, it starts to, sometimes it never fully heals. It just sits and it sits, because sometimes things need air in order to fully heal. So you open up that wound, you clean it out, and you stitch it up, and you leave it there. And you let the air get to it. And over time, you'll begin to heal within yourself. So today, I want you to make a pledge to yourself on Free Yourself Friday that today I declare that I am going to start unpacking and expelling all the toxicity within myself, so that I can learn to be content and happy with myself and not always require my happiness coming from someone else. So, with that being said, I love you guys, and I just want you to start going through your healing process as best as you know how. So, on Free Yourself Friday, I'm Brianna Marie. Love you guys, and I'll see you next week.